Hey y'all, how about some Q&A this evening? Let's see what we got. I might not be in the best mind right now, but I will do my best to answer your questions. So, first question here is from Lauren. She asks, a question for anyone who has suffered from an eating disorder or disordered eating. Have you ever hired a coach? And if so, did you find this helpful? Or did you find that it exasperated or reinforced your eating and body issues? She goes on, so my personal opinion is that if you find that you have an eating disorder, you should stop being coached to lose weight, especially, and you should stop dieting, stop trying to manipulate your body weight and your nutrition, and focus on your mental health. Eating disorders are a mental health disorder, and you have to get better before you try to get into a dieting program. That is my personal experience and what I advise to clients who are trying to lose weight, who I believe may have a disorder or are going to get worse in their eating habits or in their mindset if they continue dieting. And by that I mean that there are signs and symptoms that coaches should generally look for in order to prevent mental health issues when it comes to dieting, and I highly recommend not dieting until you get that straight, and I don't think I'm qualified to exactly help in that department. I would seek out a professional. If you want, I can tell you my experiences, but beyond that, I don't think that I think that's out of my scope. So I do not think that hiring a coach is appropriate in that situation. Question number 2. I have a question about how to get decent form for squats. I usually do blah 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 blah. I'm trying to move towards doing more barbell lifts, but my squats, I feel like I've been too far forward. So I actually learned a great deal doing the USPA coaches class in terms of squats. And as of now, I have never met a squat that I can't fix, and I attribute a lot of that to taking the USPA coaches course. It was very informative, and basically what it teaches us is, and I'm totally paraphrasing, this isn't something that we actually learned, but this is how I describe it to new clients and even existing clients who are struggling. If you can sit on a toilet, if you can sit on a chair, likelihood of you being able to squat is very high, meaning that you have the mobility, you just don't have you haven't quite yet figured out where you're comfortable, or you haven't built the confidence, and it's different for everybody. But usually if you can sit on a chair, you can squat. So the issue most people have for pitching too far forward or coming up with their hips first, it can be a wide array of reasons. Usually we try to address it with any mobility issues or any tightness that people have. I know for me personally, if I don't stretch out my ankles, I can't squat flat-footed. I could squat in a heel easily, but in order for me to squat flat-footed, I need to do a ton of mobility work. So if you want a quick band-aid, usually the squat shoe will help, but we do want to address why you're not able to squat to depth with proper form without the squat shoes. So I highly suggest posting a video online in a group that you trust, with people you trust if you don't have a coach, and have them address your particular squat issue, and even do a Skype session with a coach. I know a lot of coaches offer Skype sessions. I offer Skype sessions, and if you can have someone with you who can analyze your squat as you do it, so you don't have to go back and forth, I think that will help tremendously. Okay, so Michelle asks, Okay, you know the do not drop weight sign that's on a lot of gyms. How am I supposed to nicely place 250 pounds on the ground weight while deadlifting? Okay, so gyms do not want their equipment to be ruined. Now, most gyms, if they are not Globo gyms, they will understand that you pick a weight up, you put it on the floor, you pick it up, put it on the floor. I've never had a problem. I've deadlifted probably upwards of 315, 330 maybe at a commercial Globo gym, meaning like a 24-hour fitness, non-powerlifting gyms. Never had a problem. Nobody ever yelled at me or anything. Just be respectful, be mindful. They don't want their equipment ruined. They don't know that you know what you're doing. For all they know, this is your first time at a gym and you're throwing around their equipment. So they want to preserve their equipment for as many people as possible. Just be respectful and you won't have any problems there. If it is a powerlifting gym, you'll probably be able to throw around your weights a little bit more. If you're a weightlifting gym, even better. But for most global gyms, as long as you're respectful, you're not throwing around the weights and you're not making a big fuss or a big scene, they should be okay. At the very least, if they come up to you and they're like, please stop making noise, say okay and just move on with your life and try to be quieter if you still want to reserve access to the gym, because I mean, we're just there to work out. I mean, the less big of a deal you make it, the less we look like assholes as powerlifters, and the more likely you are to remain to still be given your free access to the gym. Okay. Trainer advice question. Went for a consult with a trainer yesterday. When I told him I was powerlifting, he rolled his eyes and said that was a waste of time. The last trainer wanted me to run and go easy. When I called a trainer that powerlifts and does strongman, he didn't return my call. Any advice? Okay, so every single trainer that you meet is going to have a different opinion on styles of training. If you're really set on having a powerlifting coach, I recommend you find a powerlifting coach. If you want a bodybuilding coach, find a bodybuilding coach. You're not going to change the trainer's mind, and the trainer is entitled to feel however they feel about a certain mode of training. I can see multiple sides. You know, powerlifting might not be the best if you're trying to do physique competition, for example. Bodybuilding may not be the best style of training if you want to gain pure strength, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And you have to find the right trainer that suits what you want to do. I wouldn't train someone on how to box or do MMA or do wrestling, same as, you know, someone who specializes in fighting wouldn't train a powerlifting athlete. So you have to find someone that suits your personality. There is some trainers who constantly refer me clients because they don't do any weightlifting, and if I ever came across someone who said, you know, I really want to jump around and not use any weights, I'd be like, well, I'm probably not the right coach for you, because I'll make you move heavy weight, and if you don't like that and if it's going to make you miserable, I can refer you to somebody who might be better than you. Not every trainer is going to be the right fit for every client, and that's the beauty of having options. So I have a question. Ladies, started following a program a few weeks ago that targets one muscle group once a week. Why would you do that as a powerlifter? I do not know, but so biceps, triceps once a week, shoulders once, back once, leg once, chest, blah, blah, blah. If you're natural, you should hit body parts twice a week. Do you think I should combine a couple of these exercises and do them twice a week, or blah, blah, blah? Okay. It's really hard to say if there is much of a difference in how you should train as a natural or enhanced competitor. I know as an enhanced competitor, you would have better recovery. As a natural athlete, you would not have as good recovery, because part of what those enhancement does is allow you to recover faster. I mean, if you are a natural athlete, there is a limit to how much you could recover, and if you do end up working out more than once a week for the same body part, you would have to work out with less intensity on both days. Actually, you could have a heavier day and a lighter day, but overall you'd have to work out with less intensity. The higher frequency, though, I have heard is better for women and better in some ways for natural athletes. I don't know. I don't think there's enough research done on it. I personally don't really have much experience with that, so I wish I could be more help, but I really can't. All I know is that enhanced athletes have better recovery and obviously better partitioning and stuff like that. Okay, next question. Today at the gym, I was talking to the manager, blah, blah, blah. And he said that all powerlifters take drugs and or hormones. I mean, anytime you're gonna make a comment like that, that's all encompassing all or none or anything like that, you're probably wrong, because there's always exceptions. And even if you don't believe that all of the natural powerlifting athletes are in fact natural, I mean, some of them probably are, right? I mean, they're not all going to be on drugs. So you probably have a higher number of natural athletes in natural federations than in untested federations. I don't know. You'll never know. So if people are gonna do drugs, they're gonna do drugs. You can't really. It's not something you can control. As of this point, the drug tested federations and organizations have higher numbers in powerlifting than the untested divisions, I believe. So it just goes to show you either they're really cheating the system or drugs don't really make that big of a difference in powerlifting. I know they do in bodybuilding, it's very obvious. You could just look at the differences in natural versus unnatural competitions and kind of see for yourself, but for the most part, it seems like the strength cap for natural athletes have not been reached unless a lot of people are doing drugs and keeping it on the down low and getting away with all these tests, especially with all the stringent testing that's happening nowadays. I'm actually impressed that people are passing all these drug tests, to be honest. That seems like such a hassle. I mean, is it even worth it? I don't know. Anyway, I hope this was helpful, and I hope this helped some of you. If you guys have any further questions, post below in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. And I'm whispering because I'm at my parents' house, and I'm kind of drunk. So take that with a grain of salt. I hope this helped at least one person. I love y'all. Have a good one. Bye-bye.